Welcome to the DAC podcast. My name is Lydia Miller, and in this podcast, I'm talking through the things that I'm learning in an MBA program and how I'm applying that information to my small business. Thanks for joining me. Now let's get started. Well, welcome back to the DAC podcast. I'm so excited about this third episode in the marketing series. And today we're going to talk about value and the value that you can bring your customers through your marketing and how you can promote that and how you can build your business based around the value that you bring. So on the podcast, we're talking about value and building in value in your customer's mind for your business. So the value that your business brings to a client, it's more than just the value, the monetary value, like a low price. It has to solve a problem for your client. And so to illustrate this, for the low price, those people, you will find customers that no matter what price you give them, they're always going to want something lower. Christy Wright in the Business Boutique podcast calls this the cheapos. They don't want to pay what you're offering. They still want a discount. They want the friend discount or the buddy discount. And guess what? Those people are cheap and they are not your target client for your business. Hear me. Don't be the girl with the absolute lowest prices in town, because that's a title that you don't want to have, and you don't want to win that race, because it's not going to help you in your business or to grow or to remain profitable. And so today, when we talk about value, here it's thought of as something that has a worth for your client. What is it that you do that brings value beyond just what you're selling for your client? So I love what Chick-fil-A does for their customer service. They offer value beyond just selling lunch or dinner for a customer. And I'm willing to spend a little bit of extra money at their restaurant over another fast food chain and make my way around town and really out of my way to just go to Chick-fil-A, because I know that they're going to smile and they're going to be polite and that they're never going to make it feel like I'm a burden on them when the drive-thru is really, really long and I ask for extra Chick-fil-A sauce. They're always going to be polite, and I love what they do with their customer service there. Some days, even if I'm having a bad day, I'll know, well, at least if I go to Chick-fil-A, someone there is going to be nice to me. They just have so much value built in for their business, and it's really a part of their brand and a part of their core values that they have for their company. And so value is also meeting the most needs economically. So you really can't be all things to everyone in everyone's business. No matter what type of business that you have, you can't do all things. So for example, for my business, I have a bookkeeping business. And in the industry of bookkeeping, I can't service every type of business. There are quirks in different industries, and there are different regulations, and there's different reporting methods, and I just can't serve all of them because I don't know the ins and outs of them. And so that's one of the things I realized very quickly when I started my business was I would take any client that would come along that needed help, partly because I needed the clients and partly because I did like what I was doing, but I just didn't have a clue about that I needed to drill in on a certain type of client that I would do better, faster, more efficient work that way. And so value economically, you want to serve your ideal client. And so I'm best in my business if I serve only my ideal client of a service-based business in my hometown of Pensacola. And so let's say, for an example, if you sell blankets, do you sell fleece and quilts and cotton and print and custom and heirloom and bed sheets and all the different types of blankets? And that might be doable. I don't know a ton about that industry. It might be that it's totally fine and that it's no big deal. But for your business, if you're just starting out, it's probably best if you focus on one group and one niche group and get really good at that and then expand into other groups as well. So maybe you start by making heirloom quilts for your clients and you do that with excellence, and then you start to add on more custom work, and then you start to add on some other things to your business until you can really do the best job economically in every single aspect of your business, so that you're not driving yourself crazy trying to learn how to make 10 different types of blankets, when that takes a lot of your time and you don't get very profitable at that either, because you don't have a system down and you don't have the steps created so that you know exactly what to do and you can do it quickly and more efficiently. And so value is a total cost for your business, so your price. So you have to make a profit. You can't completely gorge your customers and charge them absurd prices. I mean, maybe you can if you're Louis Vuitton, but for the most part, you really can't charge extreme prices if you're just starting out because they don't know your quality of your business. So for the quality for your business, you don't want to let your products be at the bottom of the quality barrel unless you're trying to do that very, very intentionally, which I don't know why you would do that. If you are, email me, lydia@dacbalance.com, to let me know why you're doing that. And so what you also want to realize is that you have to create a level of quality that all of your customers can expect. If you're trying to serve every single type of client in your industry, you might not be able to keep up with that quality long term. You might not be able to do it well, and you might need to step back at your business and look at it and realize, I might need to cut off some of these customers. I might need to cut off some of these items that I'm offering, not because I don't have a few customers, but because I can't serve them well. And in the long run, that's really not going to help your business to have customers that are unhappy with you. And you can fix this problem now ahead of time by knowing your strengths and limitations. And maybe later on down the road, you do find that you can help out your customers and that you can add that on and that you've mastered other parts and that you've studied and learned and done your research and your homework on that. And that's fine. But don't feel like when you first start out, you have to be everything to everybody, because it's really not going to help you very much at all in your business. So another aspect of doing well in your business and these economics are the serviceability. So does your product last? Is it supposed to last? I mean, if you are selling baked goods, your product isn't going to last forever. But how long is your product supposed to be good for? Does it last that long? I've purchased some items from some small businesses that I thought were going to last even a year, and they made it about a month. And that's pretty disappointing when you think that you're buying something of a high quality and it doesn't last. So make sure that you do your research and your homework on that part of your business to see if you need to improve the quality somehow so that your customers have a better experience as well. And also need satisfaction. So does it satisfy a need that your customer that your customers have, or do you have to convince a customer that they have a need for your product? And that's going to be a lot harder to do. And so look at the marketplace, do a little bit of research, do some surveys and see what type of needs that your customers have, what's not being fulfilled, what your competitors are, what they're doing with it, and see if you can find a place in the market where you can use your skills best and where there is a need for your product. And so here's an example that my teacher gave in class, and I really can't think of anything better than this example. So when you were talking about what your customers value, shipping versus high prices and paying for shipping versus higher prices and free shipping. So I'm going to go through this. So Amazon, oh my gosh, Amazon Prime has me hooked because I hate paying for shipping on websites. I would much rather, even though it might be all the same prices, it might not be, something that's a huge difference or anything. It might be that, in my mind, I don't want to pay for the shipping prices. Let me get back to my notes. My iPad went berserk on me, and so now I've lost my notes. Hang on just a second. Okay. Well. Okay. Well, guess I should cut this part out. Maybe not. Okay, so shipping versus higher prices. Okay, so Prime is basically my favorite thing ever. So if you ship products, do you know what your customers value more? So do they value lower prices but paying for shipping? Or do they value higher prices for a quality product and no shipping charges because they think that the company is this really high quality, really boutique style company that's willing to pay the shipping prices for them? Is there more value in your brand to raise your prices by a few dollars but offer free shipping? Think about those types of things whenever you're looking at your business and when you're looking at the economics of it to see what your customers value and how you can help them attain what they're looking for more. So I know that for some companies, I would rather pay a couple dollars more for a product that I think is really high quality because I'm already paying a lot of money for it anyway. If you're already paying $65 for something and if you raise your prices by $5 but then offer free shipping to it, your customers are probably going to add in more value in their minds because they'll see, oh, they're going to pay the shipping costs for me. Yeah, it's a couple more dollars, but I was already paying a lot of money for this anyway. What's a few more dollars, instead of at the end feeling like you're nickel and diming them for, oh, and here's your sales tax. Oh, and here's your shipping charges. Oh, and if you want overnight shipping, it's this much. And then all the decisions that you have to make afterwards. It kind of makes it more seamless if you just, have the transaction flow really, really smoothly for your customers. So, personally, for me, I'd be more inclined to buy a product if I knew there'd be no shipping charges added, which is why I love Amazon Prime and I'm hooked on it for life for sure. So the next part about this is we're talking not just about the value that you're bringing to your customers, and maybe that's the value of free shipping, or maybe it's the value of only offering certain products so that they can be of the highest quality and value. The next part is we're talking not just about the value, but what we market to. So we have the option of either marketing to a client's wants or to a client's needs. So you'll always be more profitable if you market to their wants, because people are very specific when it comes to the things that they want and desire. So basically everybody wants transportation to get around, and that might be really basic transportation for a while, but after a little while, people are going to have a certain want. So I know this happened to me whenever I got my first car. I just had a need for transportation. My parents were gracious and they gave me my first car. And after that car got totaled by somebody else, someone ran into me, I had to find another car, and I just needed transportation at that point. And so I bought a car on Craigslist, and it wasn't my favorite. I wanted an SUV, but I ended up with a sedan. I didn't care for the color so much, but at the time I just had a need. I just needed transportation. I had to get back and forth to work and school, so that's what I settled for. But a few years after that, after I'd gotten married, after my husband and I had saved up some money, I decided to not just to buy a car that I needed, which was just transportation, but a car that I wanted. And so that's what I did. I went out and I searched for the car that I wanted, and then we went out and purchased it, and I still drive it now because I didn't need a different car. The other car worked fine. It didn't, it wasn't really breaking down. It wasn't having any problems. I just wanted a new car. And so that was the want that I was able to fulfill, for my own vehicle and my own transportation. So you're always going to be more profitable if you can market to someone's wants instead of just their needs. Okay, so the products that are wants typically all have a utility for the customer. So utility, the definition of utility is basically just usefulness. So it has to be useful for the customer because they want the product. So there is another list here, but think about the products that your company is offering and if you can provide more utility to your customers in any of these categories. So form usefulness, and I'm going to link all of these in the show notes, and if you go to my website at lydiagmiller.com under podcast, you can find the show notes there and also on iTunes to make sure that you're keeping up with this list, and if you want to think about it some more, then feel free to do that as well. So form usefulness is usefulness that something provides by its physical presence. So does your client, whatever you're selling, does your client feel like your product's presence is more useful, or is it just cluttering the space and it's meaningless? This might be easier with the service-based industry because you can, for usefulness, if you have a cleaning service, that's definitely useful. You're providing a service for somebody. For my business, it's bookkeeping. It's definitely useful. Now, the form there might be, does the client want me to email them their statements, or do they want them mailed to them? Think about those things. Is it just creating more clutter and hassle for the client, or is it helping them and become meaningful? So the second type of utility is time. Can your customer get your product when they want it? So this is very interesting to me because some companies hold products back for an annual sale. I see a lot of people who do courses do this, like once a year they'll release their course, or once every 6 months they'll release a course, and they do very, very well. And they have the hype that's built up. One of my favorite sales of the entire year is the Lilly Pulitzer After Party Sale. They hold all of their sale prices for twice a year. And so there's a lot of hype, and that's the only time I buy their product. I can go to their website right now and buy something if I wanted to, but it's going to be at full price. And if I know that if I can wait till August, then I know that I'm going to get a better price that way. And so think about your business. Can your customers get your product when they want it? Is part of your strategy to hold back some of your products until only a certain type of year and to build momentum and to build some excitement around that product and then to release it then? What's the strategy that you're going to be using for all of your different products, and how will it help you with your business? Is it seasonal? Are you going to have to only sell at Christmas time or around Easter or around summertime? Think about the timing of your products as well, and so that you can create your plan, 3 months, 6 months in advance for how you're going to promote that product and show your customers what type of utility it brings to them. Okay, and your place. Is your product accessible to your clients? So this may seem basic, but can your customers even get to your product? Is it accessible in the stores? Do your clients know where they are in your store? Is there a place for them to look that up? Is your website up to date and easy to use? Do you have your current products on there? Are you keeping up with that? How quickly will a customer get their products? Think about all of those things as far as place goes for your product. So possession is the next one. And this is more of the bigger purchase like land or a car or a house. Can you transfer the title of that good easily to your client? Can they receive it and actually have it put in their name easily? You can also think of this as a digital download. I have a few things that are digital downloads that I use Etsy for actually, because I found that it was really going to be hard for me to create a place on my website for them to possess, quote unquote, the item, because I was going to have to look into WordPress and have plugins and all this kind of stuff. And so I decided to use Etsy so that as soon as a client purchases something, they can download it immediately and they'll have it right there. So think of those things on your website. Is it easy for your customer to possess it, or do you have to email every single client who buys something? Because that's probably going to become tiresome, and you kind of want to automate these things a little bit so you're not completely wrapped up and drained by your business. So, and lastly, this is the psychological utility of your product. So this is particularly important for nonprofits and if people are donating to your cause. So does the donor feel like their donation is bringing usefulness for the cause that they are passionate about? Do they feel like their donation is being spent well and that they can see the results of that? Do you have things on your website that show the impact that your organization has had? Do you send out letters occasionally to your donors and thank them for the things that they're doing? Do you have an annual event or even a quarterly event to show people who have donated, look, this is what your donations have been doing. Thank you so much for your support. We've made this type of progress. Are you able to do that with your business? If not, those would be great things to show the psychological utility to your donors of, yes, you are doing a good thing by donating to this, and yes, we are using your money wisely. And even for volunteers, showing them after an event just how much of an impact it's created and what they are doing well, so that they come back year after year and event after event, so that they know that they are taken care of and that they are appreciated by your organization. Okay, so we're about to wrap up this episode, and like I said, all of these things are going to be in the show notes for the outline for this episode. Feel free to look there if you have any questions or listen through this episode. So what I want you to do this week is think back through the value that your product or service is bringing your customers and what you can do to create more value in marketing, not just to the customer, but to the utility that your product is going to bring your customer. Remember, we're trying to add value through marketing to our customers and show them and influence them what we're doing with our company and with our products and services that help them out, not just to make sales, but to help them out and help them achieve goals that they want to achieve. So thank you so much for listening today. If you would, please hit subscribe and leave a review if you've been enjoying this so far. And as always, you can book a strategy session with me, and I'm still taking applications for my beta. For the strategy sessions. If you're interested, email me at lydia@dacbalance.com. That link will be in the show notes, and you can find more information at lydiagmiller.com. And you can follow me on Instagram for more great tips every day. So thanks for listening. I'll talk to you again next time.